Welcome back, West Texas here now with that full forecast. Starting you off with these current temperatures, you see that this cooler bubble up here in the northeast is really starting to spread. 78 degrees up here in Abilene, down to 71 over here in Brownwood, and it's slowly making its way out. You see right outside here, though, we're still in the 80s. 83 degrees up here in Ballinger, 84 up here in Roby, still 85 over here in San Angelo. The hottest so far, goodness gracious, 88 degrees down there in Junction, but eventually Junction and everybody else will lose that heat. Lows tonight going to be in the upper 50s to the lower 60s. You see 62 degrees here in San Angelo, 60 down here in El Dorado, Menard. A couple places again getting down into those upper 50s. You see 59 degrees here in Garden City, Big Spring, as well as all the way up north in Snyder. Now, temperatures are going to be a little bit on the cooler side because we have a cold front that is on its way. It's not going to directly affect lows because it'll be coming during those overnight hours, but this is a snapshot of the conditions we're somewhat looking at right now. We've got the dry line, which is what made some of those storms possible for these easternmost counties just a couple hours ago. There is some rain and some storms over to our east, and there's this cold front making its way through the Panhandle, and that's what's going to bring us some gusty winds as we get through tomorrow. But that cold front's going to start to make its way south as we get into these overnight hours. It's going to be overtaking that dry line. We're not going to see any storms materialize here in West Texas, but again, it is going to bring some gusty winds and a drop in temperatures. We are going to be going from the 90s like we've been seeing right down to 80 degrees tomorrow, but there will still be elevated to critical fire weather risk. And then as we continue into the rest of the week, things are going to quickly heat back up, still in the 80s, but the upper 80s on Thursday and back up into the 90s from just about Friday onward. But that elevated fire weather risk will continue even if it is not explicitly said out loud, just because we have such dry conditions. This is a look of the fire risk outlook. Most of our area in this critical range of severe fire weather, but everyone else on the outside is still under that elevated risk. So it's just something you're going to want to keep an eye on, again, being careful with those cigarette butts, any kind of welding or friction on dry grass, things like that. So when are you going to be looking for this intense fire risk? You see it already starting to build out west in the Midland area just by 8 a.m. in the morning. And as we continue into the afternoon, that's only going to grow and expand. You see here at noon, it is deep. We've got some deep red and orange hues here in Crockett County, even here in Tom Green, getting close to Concho County, and up here in the Big Country, getting next to Callahan. Not quite up into Knox County yet, but even as we get later into the afternoon, things lighten up because things are going to cool down, but it's still just a widespread light risk throughout the area, and it's following perfectly with those winds we have coming in from the west, right behind that cold front as they come down quickly off of the mountain. So wrapping up with that 7-day forecast, Wednesday is going to be the windiest day we're going to see for a while, but the sun will still be out, and we'll continue to see the sun out for Thursday. As we continue through the rest of the weekend, we're going to get a lot cloudier, but we're also going to get a lot hotter. So hopefully those clouds will give us some cover, some protection as we're getting through the rest of the week.